Backing 13 up here. Should probably like fucking eat this mic. I think we can go whenever. Do you know what the hotkeys are? Oh, he's checking audios and shit. Your boy Marta, live from London. When can we go? I don't know. Are you checking things or are we good?
Can we start? Oh, someone just said that we were right.
Alright, ready? Count me down. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Who's gonna do the intro stuff? Do you wanna do it?
Go, you go.
Alright, so this is Spyro the Dragon. This is a PlayStation 1 platforming game, which stars a little dragon called Spyro.
Okay, rolling.
And basically, all the big dragons have been screwed over by this character called Nasty Nork. And because we're little, we didn't get hit, so we've got to go around and free them all and, you know, restore the Dragon Kingdom to its former glory.
Yeah, when he says free them all, this is the any % category, so we're not actually going to be freeing them all. We're not collecting everything. The point of this category is to just beat the game, beat the final boss as quickly as possible. And to do that, we need to collect some amount of stuff to progress through the game.
Some amount.
Yeah. Each at the end of each homeworld, there's a balloonist, and he requires us to have a certain amount of collectibles in order to progress. So in this first homeworld here, he's going to be collecting 10 dragons. That's the main goal, but also along the way, he's going to be getting some quick gems. This first homeworld is generally not very good in terms of like how many gems you can get very quickly, but there's some good ones, so we'll get a few.
Seems good.
So if you haven't played this game before, Spyro controls like a truck.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum, there's a lot of like sliding around, and so good movement in this game comes down to learning how to control Spyro and get him to actually go where you want him to go. You did that earlier as well. I don't know how you make it like that.
It's done.
Yeah. So that's a little unintended jump to get up on that hill. If you jump up in the air and then charge at the peak of your jump, you gain a tiny bit of extra height, which is enough to make a couple of unintended jumps.
Hardest trick in the game, I swear.
Yeah, so we head out of this level after getting a few dragons. There's no requirement to exit through the like end level vortex things. That's not required, so we don't bother. It's usually quicker to just pause and exit out.
Yeah, flaming whirlwinds and all that doesn't actually do anything. It's just kind of a way to pass time. Just keep your fingers moving and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you see us flaming but not actually like hitting anything with it, it's just, yeah. It doesn't cause lag or anything, so...
Yeah, but we
like,
know
why
why.
not? Yeah. Who knows?
So another one of those unintended jumps coming up right here. Just charging at the peak of your jump to gain some extra height. Nice.
Easy.
Just lets us get a couple of dragons very, very quickly without having to go all the way around the level.
Oh, epic. Oh. Yeah, shoutouts to shaving, by the way. That's a thing you should do. So yeah, definitely in these early levels, we're kind of just beelining to dragons and then stopping off now and then to pick up some gems that are worth it to get. It's mainly in the later levels where there's like groups of lots of gems we prefer to get. Yeah. Especially because early on we only need dragons and not gems, so there's no reason to go ham collecting them.
Yeah, so the big gem requirement that we need for the whole game is 6,000 by the end of the fifth homeworld. Oh, not quite.
Oh, dick.
So you can see what he was trying to do there. If you glide along the mountain there, you get something called a wall glide, where the gliding along a wall lets you preserve your height. And so if he'd done that right, he'd have stayed high enough to land on a little bit of the mountain that is standable a bit further on. and then he could have done some platforming to get over the mountain and skip straight to that 11th dragon. Saves a bit of time. It's not a huge deal. Looks cool.
Yeah. Feels bad, man.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the first balloonist. He requires 10 dragons. We have 11 just because there's 11 quick ones in the first world, but that's the first gem requirement. The first collectible requirement, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we start doing a bit more detouring for gems, because the gems get quite a lot better in the second world. Just in terms of like how concentrated they are, how many gems per second you can get. A lot of the routing in this category comes down to gems per second, like how many gems you can collect per time. Sometimes it's better in the long run to take more time in a level if you're going to get more gems out of it, because it prevents you from having to get them somewhere else in the game.
We also start doing lots of things called flame charges from this point on, which I guess Dak can explain if he wants to.
Yeah, sure. I didn't get it there, but normally if you charge through a chest or some enemies, you can see that the gem homes into you when you charge through. If you just flame a chest, the gem doesn't home in. It just pops out and you have to pick it up manually. But by kind of flaming and then charging very quickly while you're close to a chest, you can kind of trick the game into thinking that you charged through it. And so the gem homes in even though you didn't actually connect with the chest. Usually it's not a big deal. It just lets you cut some corners more quickly. You don't have to be like right touching a chest rather. But over the course of the run, it can save a bunch of time just from movement. That doesn't look good.
Nah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
went for a jump there, which saves a little bit of time, but it's very tricky to get.
Yeah,
so
that's hard.
it doesn't lose too much to go for though. So, and if you miss it, you get a couple of extra gems. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's more gem stuff. Like, by missing that jump, he has to go the long way around to this dragon,
Yeah,
but there's
the
a bunch of
intended way.
gems on the way, so it doesn't lose as much time as it looks. You can skip some later because you got those.
Huh? Get wrecked? Yeah, can confirm. Dak reeks.
Damn.
Never share a tell with him.
Alright, so this level's pretty hard. It's got a cool trick. We'll see if he gets it. So there's a jump right at the start where you kind of get some gems earlier than you would be supposed to. That's not difficult. But then after that, there is a pretty tricky trick that we'll watch out for. Yeah. Looks nah, not quite. So what he tried to do was squeeze himself in between that enemy and the wall. And if he'd got it, he'd have kind of been we call it a proxy. You get bounced upwards, and you can land on the roof up above, and then do some interesting jumps to get to a dragon early. Again, it's not a huge time save. Most stuff in this game. Yeah, this is another tricky one. Most time saves in this game aren't huge, but there's just lots of little things that add up over a run. But that's one of the bigger ones, I guess. That firework is awful. It's like if you stand right up next to it and try and flame it, you won't hit it. You need to stand quite far away.
Shoutouts to Logan in the chat, by the way.
And the nice thing about this category as well, because we don't need all the gems, if we miss stuff, like if we accidentally just don't pick something up, we don't usually need to turn around for it. That was a cool flame charge, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually don't need to turn around for it. We can make up the gems later, and turning around in general in this game is really slow. So usually, it depends on the gems, but usually it's better to just make up the gems later than to turn around for stuff you've missed.
You can kind of like, each player kind of has their own little route that they can do. They can like add in gems here and take them out other places. So some people have super lenient routes, while people will go back more often because it's tighter. And
yeah, very, very flexible category in terms of route stuff.
No, I'm going to take it safe.
Alright.
Now we have a tiny bit of RNG in the run. There's 3 guys out here which kind of scatter around, and they're in like a different position every time, so sometimes they can be really close.
Yeah, that was...
So yeah, that's right.
alright.
There's like 2 of them have a 5 and 1 of them have a 2. Sometimes you can get unlucky where the guy who's normally at the cannon gets like stuck in the cannon. You have to wait for his body to despawn before you can use the cannon and turn it to hit the rock.
Yeah, there's very little RNG in this game.
Yeah.
That's in the any percent run. That's about it, I think. There's not really much else that I can think of.
That's the least significant. So now I have a flight level.
Oh yeah, we haven't had one of these yet. You just fly around. There's one of these in each world. We didn't do the first one because it's kind of out of the way. It takes a while to get into, and then it's not that fast. So we skipped the first one, but we'll be doing all of the rest of them. There's no dragons in these, but they're a very quick way to get 300 gems, which is quite a lot. So
we generally have custom routes for these as well. There's like routes that developers intended you to go, but of course we've kind of changed how we do things. So sometimes we might get bits of one and then go to another item and divvy it up. This section's a good example of that, where normally you kind of go through several ways, but you can kind of get the lamps and the archers by zigzagging back and forth.
Yeah, there's a bunch of routes for this section at the end, just some slightly faster but more difficult.
Yeah. So what we did there at the end was a kind of like a cutscene skip. Normally when you collect all of the items, Spyro like goes in the sky and does a little dance. But if you like make Spyro run into something while he's starting that animation, the game will kind of just take you to the like the completion screen and not show you it, which does save a decent bit of time.
Just so you know.
So we also got an egg thief there. And in our homeworld coming up, we need... How many eggs do you need? Is it 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah, we need 5 eggs. And there's a fair amount of them around, so it's generally like right in the way a lot of the time, like that one. We would have gone over to get the gems anyway. So, but that's what those guys have.
Yeah.
Little pink eggs.
Yeah, they're just another requirement that we need to beat the game.
And then we have the first kind of mini boss level of the run. We don't actually fight the boss. But this level has like a lot of gems here at the start. You see there's a lot of 5s and 10s, which is very worth it.
A lot of people are disappointed because they remember this boss from when they were a kid.
Yeah.
And then we just don't fight him. We just we enter the level and then just don't fight the boss.
We do fight. We fight Metalhead.
I think.
Yeah, we fight 2 bosses, I think, and then the final boss. So the boss is normally right at this section here, but it's like slow. It doesn't have a lot of gems.
Yeah.
There's no
dragon
dragon
at the end.
He has a
fair few gems, but it's really slow to get him.
It's just not worth it.
Very
and there's no
much,
dragon, so... Nice bonk.
So this is a really good level. I don't know if Ika agrees, but this is one of my favorite levels.
I don't mind. If it goes well, it feels nice.
Yeah. There's like 5 dragons in this level as well. It's got a lot of stuff for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some of these like those big guys where if we could flame charge them, it'd be really handy, but they're kind of just like no matter what you do, there's no way to, so that's why we flame them and still jump to get their gems. But there are other big enemies in the game which you normally can't charge that we're able to flame charge that come up later on and all that.
Yeah, it's really weird how some enemies are flame chargeable and some just aren't.
And each enemy kind of like, you need to be like a different distance away to flame charge them, like, or a different angle. It's like, it's not really consistent. The metal crates like these, wooden crates like those are the easiest by far. Which is handy because they're the kind of thing we want to get the most. Nice input.
I told you that flame charge is a bad idea.
It's normally fine. Leave me alone. Let me do what I want. So we just kind of flame those guys, jump, and then twist around them. Cause even though when we kill them, their body still like has a hitbox on them, so you can charge into it and bonk on it if you're not careful. There's a guy with a snowball here that may or not hit us because I'm bad at dodging it, so we'll see if that happens. Alright, we got hit by it.
Yeah, if you break that chest, it's more likely to get hit by the snowball. And then this is cool.
Yeah, we call it magic stairs, I think.
Magic stairs, yeah. Though they happen to be like just the right distance that you can just charge jump across all of them.
I'm not doing your shit here.
No, that's all good. Yeah, unlike in the later Spyro games, charge jumping is not that good in this game in terms of like gaining height. You go up a little bit, but not much.
Yeah. There's another example there of where people's routes deviate. There's like lots of little gems around there I could get. I kind of just skimmed through it. And there's also a jump we're not supposed to do, which got from that like middle area to the dragon.
Oh yeah, and something to note, you notice on this dragon, he kind of went around to the back of that dragon rather than touching him from the nearest side. That's intentional. Each dragon has a specific spot that Spyro walks to during the cutscene, and he walks really slowly. So we want to be as close as possible to that spot when we touch the dragon, because we move faster while charging than we do in the cutscene, so I want to minimize time walking. Most dragons you end up hitting like near to where you would hit them anyway, but some are not like that. Some you have to go out of your way to touch them from a weird angle.
So now we're in Magic Crafters, and the requirement here at the end is 5 eggs, but we're still going to collect dragons and gems because we need them for later requirements.
Yeah.
That was a perfect flame charge. No. Yeah, so you can do little things like that. Normally you'd have to go around and charge that wooden crate, because you can flame charge. You can kind of just grab it a little with your flame and go straight into the portal and save some frames. This is a fun start to a level.
Yeah, he's going to try and catch a cycle here on the stairs at the start. The stairs get raised and lowered by the enemy, so if you go fast enough, yeah, you can get up on the early cycle.
10 out of 10. So this place kind of has a lot of cycles like this, but a lot of the time when it's up and you're not supposed to go, we can kind of just either get around it or cause the enemy to drop it. Like here, this guy normally has it up. I'll still wait, but if he has it up and you fly down the side, when you get close to these like green druids, they start panicking and they'll stop kind of like blocking you with what they have. So you can fly down the side of the wall back there, and he'll start panicking, and then you can just kind of hop on it. So. I didn't get that.
That fireworks chest is very finicky. The enemy corpses tend to stay around for quite a while.
Yeah.
Especially those big beast things. And they're still solid, so they can block your flames. So you need to be careful with that one. And then one of the few out of bounces in this run is coming up.
Yeah.
I guess just let it speak for itself. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. You can do it from home.
Turns out that wall's not solid for whatever reason. That's not a big time save. Like it lets you get that thief, which would normally not be easily reachable, and you get a different thief instead. But it's not a huge deal. It's cool though.
So yeah, there's like an egg thief right there, but because like all the other thieves are like so much more in our way, we don't even need to get that guy.
Yeah.
You can get him as a backup if you miss the one in the previous level, because he can run past you and it can be slow to get him, but it looks
really weird to skip that one, but you get 3 extra gems and it doesn't lose any time, so.
Yeah. This is another level where there's a cycle at the start. You can take this area much quicker and try flame charge these big blue dudes, but they're kind of one of the harder enemies to flame charge.
Yeah.
So if you try and make the cycle, you can risk like missing a lot of gems, or you can kind of slow down a bit and take this area a bit slower, just to make sure you get everything and then just catch the next cycle, which is these guys here. So there's also a bit of movement tech we're doing, where often when we're doing glides, we do a thing called a charge glide, which is basically where how do you explain it?
Yeah, so normally when you glide out of it, like you jump and glide, and you lose some height when you start gliding, like straight away. But if instead of just jumping and gliding, you jump and then very quickly charge and then glide, you keep more height and you go further than if you had just glid out of your jump. I'll let him concentrate on this.
Nice.
Nice, nice. Okay, so that's a cool little supercharge trick. You're not supposed to be able to get through that cave like that. But yeah, the inputs for a charge glide are pretty simple. You just very quickly press square and then X rather than just X. And it helps for a lot of jumps. Like, it doesn't look like much, but it really does help a lot.
Yeah. You can take the supercharge all the way through this area too, but it's pretty damn hard for a lot of people.
It's tricky.
So if you want to take it safe to make sure you get the gems, especially because you need, to kill the beetles, you either need supercharge or the fairy kiss flame, so...
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a place where different runners have different routes just for...
Depending on skill level and all that, yeah,
skill
and how
level
safe
and
you want to
preference.
take it. Yeah. So now we're going to take the supercharge straight to the next portal. We're getting lots of gems from enemies and that.
Yeah,
it's quick to go here. We kind of double back in this area. Normally it's like quite linear in the home worlds, but here we like go here and then go back a bit to a flat level, just because it's quicker to do it this way while we've got the supercharge.
Yeah, it's mainly because there's a metal crate with a 25 gem in it in the home world that you can only break with the supercharge.
Yeah.
And so you kind of, if you want that 25 gem, you need to do the levels in this order rather than what might look quickest.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely worth it.
It's also a good level showing off flame charges. Those Yeti dudes with the clubs, normally you can't charge, but they're one of the easy enemies to flame charge. So you can see when I go up to them, their gems home in, which, you know, normally shouldn't happen. There's also an enemy at the start, which was like a blue wizard, which we can get if we're quick. Normally he hides up the top and you have to go like a long way around to get him. But if we're quick enough, we can get him.
This supercharge section is great. I love it. Just jumping across the islands with supercharge.
Oh.
Oh!
Alright, we're good, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, so very easy to accidentally die there.
Once again, that's like another place where the gems there we'd probably get anyway, but the thief is just handy that he's sitting there. So...
Yeah, those gems are behind the back are kind of slow, but
it's worth it,
the thief is worth it.
We have a kind of quickish area at the end here.
If you kill that big wizard early and get his gem, he doesn't spawn the other guys up here until later. Oh, right, no, sorry, they all spawn like immediately. Whereas if you don't kill the wizard, he like spawns them as he goes up, and you have to wait longer. So it's nice to kill him early.
Nah, I landed on.
That's what happens if you don't touch the dragon.
I
from
landed
the right
on
side.
a bad side. It's very slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably have to pick up a couple extra gems later on just because I've missed the fair few. I'll try to do a thing here, which is kind of fidgety. I think I got it there.
Yeah, you got it, yeah. So, yeah, that's Dragon Skip. As you saw, there was a dragon right outside that portal. When he leaves the level, there will not be a dragon outside that portal. The way portals work in this game is a bit weird. When you...
Keep going.
When you go through a portal, the camera has to like center behind Spyro before the level starts loading. And so by going through the portal backwards like that and keeping the camera stuck on the other side, you take quite a while to like deload the level you're in and start loading the next one. And during that time, you actually touch the dragon that's behind the portal. And that counts as collecting it, but you don't have to sit through the cutscene where it breaks. And so it saves about 7 seconds. But yeah, he did collect that dragon despite it maybe not looking like it.
I'll just do this end bit slowly, I guess. Yeah. There's normally like some okay planes to miss, but this first guy is like really out of the way, so it's unlucky I missed him.
Yeah, there's a few of those planes that lose no time to miss, but that was a pretty bad one.
I still kind of got the animation skip because I don't know, I was a bit slow at the end there, so I didn't have much momentum. But that's kind of another example of an animation skip. And there's the dragon that we freed earlier.
Yeah, he's just not there. So up next is Blowhard. I'd like to give a shout out to Twitch user Matt13 LOLOL.
Yeah, he's a freaking beast.
Yeah, known legend in the Spyro community. This
in
is
a lot
his
of communities.
favorite level. Alright, so this is a boss that we actually do fight. In fact, we get almost all of the gems in this level.
Yeah, you only missed like 3 or so.
Yeah, it's so fast. Like,
it's just so many high value gems. Ah. Yeah, this first area is kind of, yeah. There's a lot going on. Just take it a bit slow. But yeah, there's like lots of gems, lots of 10s and 5s.
Yeah. And that's Blowhard. You just flame him. Like, as with every boss, he's kind of easy, but you just flame him a couple times. This cave area is really awkward. It's very easy to die here. Like, cycles on the platforms.
Shout outs to Ben Saunders.
Yeah. That was a really good cycle on the platforms.
Nice.
Didn't have to stop at all. Yeah, hit him second time. These fireworks chests, you're kind of supposed to flame them and wait for them to explode. Like, it lights a fuse and then they explode and the gem pops down. But if you have health, it's quicker to just charge into them, take the damage, rather than waiting.
Yeah, so there's normally 400 gems to earn that level, and we get 391 of them, so it's a lot.
Yeah, you can get up to like 398 in an 80% route. You skip the very last 2 gems. So yeah, that was the 5 egg requirement. Yeah, he had 5 eggs, so that's easy. The next world, though, this is where the game starts getting quite a lot harder. Lots of very bad deaths. Yeah, it just gets difficult. Hard levels. These guys at the start are on cycles, but you end up on a good cycle, so it's no problem. And then this level right here, Terrace Village, we are not going to bother with. We're just going to skip it. It's not... Like, it's kind of on the edge of being worth going into. It's got 2 dragons and some good gems, but overall, it's just not really worth bothering with.
Oh, boys.
Oh, got the flame charge.
Yeah, normally those 2 balls I flame charged there, like, it's really risky going for them, but I thought I'd give it a shot and I got both of them.
Yeah.
Balls are like one of the harder enemies to flame charge, especially if you haven't got much room. You kind of like got to be on an angle to them, and they're very funky.
But yeah, there's no requirement to do every level. We skipped, what, 3 levels in the first world?
Yeah.
And then we skipped 1 in this world, and then a bunch in the next one. So, as long as you have the collectibles, there's no requirement to go to all the levels.
No, they're just standard flight level.
Yep. This first section of the flight is always the same, but the this end area is really complicated. There's a bunch of different routes for it.
There's just lots of... there's like planes and chests, and you kind of want to get the chests while getting the planes, because the planes are moving, it makes it funky, and...
Yeah, Ikkatosh does a kind of custom route here that I don't really see anyone else do.
Yeah.
But apparently it's just as fast
yeah,
as
I've timed it. It loses like nothing, and I'm comfy with it, so there's no reason changing. Another animation skip in the tunnel there, which is kind of handy that we end in it.
Yep.
Now we're getting up to Misty Bog. It's a fun level.
Yeah,
hardest level
in the run, I would say.
There's lots of enemies which can kind of hit you from a distance. There's kind of inconsistent boars and not a lot of fodder. There's a lot of lives around there, and I'm actually going to get some extra gems at the start here just to be safe. There's like 3 back here we don't normally get.
I guess something to mention just before we get started on this level is there was a boar just outside this level in the homeworld. He won't be there when we come out. For some reason, if like that enemy spawns right in front of the portal, And if you come out of a portal that there's an enemy outside of, it just automatically kills it for you. So yeah, we don't have to kill it ourselves. There's a bunch of frogs there that have good gems, but we go back through this area anyway, and they were in awkward spots, so we're just going to get them all at the end.
It's one of the few levels where we kind of double back on ourselves at one point. Just 'cause it's so big and there's lots of gems and dragons. So
yeah, that's another. Actually, we mentioned some luck factors earlier. Those frogs are another one. They move around a little bit randomly.
Yeah, these shrubs are. You want to be really careful because they kind of can move at different points, and if they get you, you can lose a lot of time because it's like an animation where you kind of poke around inside them and you're just sitting there and there's nothing you can do.
And these frogs have crazy long reach. Their tongues hit you from really far away. You can kind of bypass them by flame charging them, like it prevents them from hitting you, but
you gotta be careful.
Yeah, that can be difficult.
Yeah. And these dudes, like with the swords, aren't that bad, but they're kind of, I don't know, finicky and kind of small.
Yeah. Just every enemy in this level can wreck you.
Yeah.
Some little tricky platforming here, not quite.
I can't get up that way. I'll just die, it's okay, yeah.
He got a dragon just up there, and dragons serve as checkpoints, so that death was almost nothing.
Yeah. No, this section is, I don't know, super finicky for me.
Yeah. Climbing stairs like this is slightly harder than it looks, because you're charging to land on the stairs quickly, but if you charge for slightly too long, you bonk on the walls and can very easily fall off.
Yeah, especially those stairs.
Yeah.
And they're very thin, so you want to do like very minor charge inputs, otherwise you just like bonk.
Yeah, you just
these
want to
ones as well.
Charge for as quickly as possible.
Oh, I didn't get the full flame over.
Yeah. And yeah, this is back through that first section again.
My input, yeah.
Oh, no.
Let me get this guy.
Alright.
I got blue sparks, yeah.
Yeah, blue's fair enough.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. So this next little room here that he's going to head into, we call it Guantanamo Bay. It's... Whoever designed this area needs to question their life choices.
There's lots going on, we want to do it fast, so it's kind of...
This is like a billion terrible enemies, and very easily just get
There's an example of the frog reach.
Oh my god.
It's fine.
Yeah. That was not bad actually, despite the 2 damage.
They can kind of like hit you off screen too when you don't even know where they are, and they're all hopping around while you're running in there, so it's not like they're in a stable position.
Yeah. So yeah, he left here with no Sparks, which means Sparks isn't there to pick gems up for him. And so because of that, he has to touch each gem manually, and it's just slightly slower. But that particular area, it's not rare to leave there with no Sparks, and so we're kind of used to it. We know how to pick stuff up quickly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out of my way to just get fodder here.
Yeah.
Just because it makes things so much easier when you got Sparks. You can kind of just rely on him. Like even, like you can see how sometimes his distance is like really handy.
Yeah, I guess we didn't really mention Sparks, but he's the little dragonfly that follows you around. He picks up gems for you when you're near them, and he also acts as your health. So right now he's on green Sparks, which means he can take 2 more hits before dying. But when you're on 1 hit left, Sparks just disappears and doesn't pick up gems for you. So you don't want to take too much damage. This thief, you can't kill him yet. Like, he's just following him, and the thief has a gem, but you can't kill him until he gets to his, like, the end of his route.
Yeah. And normally in this level, you're kind of supposed to do, like, some long chase to kind of get him, but we do, like, a little skip there. Where you kind of just
little shortcut.
Yeah. But the downside of that is we have to wait for him to come down here, and it's worth it because he has a 25, which is really handy.
Yeah.
So you probably see me get these. Yeah. So you'll see here.
Probably still worth getting that.
Yeah.
25 gems are really, really valuable.
So there's 2 of those thieves in this level. We actually get one of them coming up here, the red thief, early. It's kind of before you start chasing them, like in a state where you can hit them. And because we're coming through this area like backwards, he's not really, like there's no real detection for it. So he's just down here. And, I missed him, but yeah, you can only get him there. It doesn't really matter because he'll be at the end area.
Yeah, it's no big deal to miss him there. It's like slightly faster to hit him.
Yeah, but you kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
Nice death skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when climbing you can skip a stair or 2 if you
Yeah.
So coming up here we have a jump, which is fun. I guess Dak can explain if he wants to.
No, I'm just gonna say good luck and then explain it after.
Oh yeah, this
It's kind of obvious that it's not intended. You'll see it in a sec.
Nice. That was like a really good one.
So that's Stone Knot Skip. You carry the supercharge onto this island and use a bit of the scenery to you kind of supercharge up it. It's maybe more precise than it looks because
yeah, the little ramp. It's like it looks like you can go straight up it, but if you like kind of jump off at the top, there's like a spot where you're bonk, so you have to kind of slide off the side. And because you're supercharging, you're like only on it for a short time.
Yeah, you need just the right angle. If you're too far to the left, you'll just go off the side, and if you're too far to the right, you'll bonk. So.
Yeah.
But
it's good that I got it.
It's really nice because it lets us get all three of those fan chests and get up to at the bottom. The fan chests at the bottom,
and normally you have
get
to
up to the top area.
Chase the red thief around a couple of ramps, which if you die, you kind of just do it the standard way anyway.
Yeah.
So now we're at another boss level. This is Metalhead. We kind of go out of our way here. This isn't like the way to the boss, but it's just because there's like a key and so many gems.
Yeah.
It's worth doing.
Yeah, this is probably the only boss that's kind of interesting in how you fight him. You can't just hit him directly by flaming him. You have to do a little I don't know what you call it. Just hit some pylons.
They're like power poles that are powering him up, and you can only hit them when they're down. So we end up flaming that fireworks chest rather than charging it like others, just because we can come back down here anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we kind of want the health as well. Like, getting sparks after this level is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
You take that so close.
I normally don't think he attacks me, I guess, yeah.
And that's 50 dragons, which is all the dragons we need. We will get one more later just because we have to.
Yeah, a tiny bit slow.
Yeah, you're trying to catch a cycle there. It depends on your movement in the top area, but...
yeah, I gotta be careful here.
But yeah, 50 dragons is the big requirement. It's what the balloonist makes us get. And so at this point we can just leave to the next world if we want.
It's kind of, like this is areas like here where Sparks is really handy. But it's definitely worth just taking time to make sure you get them all because there's so many gems.
Yeah, those yellow gems specifically are worth 10, which is very useful. Oh my god. Key glitch? No.
Key glitch in Metalhead. No.
So yeah, this second cycle is normally even more consistent, and maybe he'll nah, he's not got it.
No, I'll take it carefully.
Because he spent so much extra time in the top getting all the gems, he missed this cycle.
The camera's
normally it's pretty easy to get.
The camera's kind of funky there because it tries to auto center on Metalhead, but we don't really want to be looking at him, so we kind of got to like work around it because the camera can tilt, which changes which way you're moving, so you got to be careful of it.
Yeah.
Especially because the poles are so small to hit. You got to focus a fair bit. There's actually a bunch of gems sitting here. Because normally there's enemies the Metalhead throws at you during the fight. Because we kill him so quickly, all the enemies he normally throws just dies up the top, and all their gems are just sitting there. Yeah. So that's why there's like clumps of them.
That's good gems, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, these stairs are one of the harder ones to climb, yeah. Because they're so thin, but we want to do them fast, so... So we're going to do a little bit of extra gem collecting before we move on to the next homeworld.
Yeah.
Just because it's fast, good gems.
Yeah, we've got all the dragons we need, but we do still need a few extra gems, so... And there's a lot of quick ones in this homeworld.
Yeah, like this chest has a decent chunk. You're not supposed to jump up there like that, but once again we can kind of abuse the height with the charge. I wasn't even aiming to get that, but... That
one gem, you have to land right on top of it, otherwise the balloonist talks to you and it doesn't home in.
Yeah, it's in a really clunky spot. So now we're only focusing on gems, and we only touch on this homeworld briefly. We kind of just do a flight and the next boss and then go into the final homeworld. We also kind of, I don't know. Do you want to explain, like, skipping the cannon and all that?
Yeah. So, there's two big enemies in this world that you're supposed to have to shrink with a cannon, in order to... Oh, my God.
I swear I'm good.
Yeah, I was waiting. In order to get past them, you're supposed to shrink them with a cannon, but we can actually skip them by kind of damage boosting over them. You'll see it in just a sec here.
Yeah.
It's these two metal enemies. Yeah, you just jump into them and they hit you upwards and you can just glide over them. It saves a fair bit of time actually, otherwise you'd have to go all the way around to the cannon, shrink them, come back.
You know, that jump I tried to do before, it's kind of like, oh, but fine. It's kind of called whirlwind skip, and normally I'm alright at it, but I don't know, my lineup was really bad. But it skips just using the whirlwind, which saves, I don't know, maybe a second or two.
Yeah, it's a quick skip. But
yeah. We're at the final flight of the run, which is kind of, you want to try and nail the first bit, because there's like trains going around, and we want to catch the cycles. There is like, of course, backups, but it's slow, so yeah. It's like lamps and crates we're getting at the start here, alternating between them. And so far, so good. It's like the first train here, which is like the key one.
Yeah, if you flame this train right here, you've pretty much done the first section.
Like the rest of it's pretty. These guys here kind of are in different spots, but they're always in the same one, so you just got to remember where they are, and you're all good.
Yeah.
It's quite annoying casually this level for a lot of people because the copters, move up and down and they're tiny, so. Yeah, I missed it. So that's what normally happens when you don't get the animation skip. So
yeah, normally you can like go. You kind of go right into the train before you flame it, and then when he's trying to do his loop the loop, you hit the track or you hit the train's corpse, and it skips the animation.
Yeah.
But
no, gem count is good. It's kind of where it's like you figure out in this level how many gems you need to get to the 6,000 gem requirement.
Yeah.
But mine are like good. There's like little deviants you can do in this depending how much you need.
You saw the balloonist right there. He went straight past him. We can't get to the next world yet. You need 6,000 gems. So
yeah,
needs to go into this boss.
Best soundtrack in the game to BH.
It's important.
Track.
Yeah, this is a good track. Yeah. It's important to know this level really well if you're running this category, because this is where you make up your gems. You don't want to go over gems because that just means you've wasted time collecting them. But you need to make sure you have enough, and this is the level where you end up kind of fine-tuning your gem count. So you need to know exactly where everything is and have like numbers for what you need to get in what situation.
So I did a thing there which I call, no one else calls it, but I call it cakeless. When normally you're supposed to grab the key and the gems and then re-hit the fools to lift it up, but if you're fast enough, you can do it all in one cycle, which is quite speedy.
Yeah. You skip that dragon, we don't need dragons anymore. He just runs straight past it.
Now you just fight the boss. Race is just chasing him through this section, trying not to fall down. And there's just a bunch of gems at the end. There's like, I don't even know how many. A lot.
That's he didn't die.
Yeah.
If he'd fallen into the lava there, he'd have gone back to the start of the level because he didn't collect any dragons. So he just has to go back around this, which is whatever.
We used to wait and collect the gems here and then jump up the top, but it's slightly faster that while the enemy's doing his dying animation to jump up here and then jump back down.
Yeah.
But his hitbox can kind of screw you over and pop you out, and
yeah, you can kind of jump through Jacques while he's dying. And so what's the gems?
Quite over.
Yeah,
so you see I was 28 over there, but it's still better over than under.
Yeah, you want to have exactly 6,000 or like 6,001 to like that kind of range. But you got 28 extra gems, which is it's fine. So
now we don't need to collect anything. We kind of just want to beeline all through all the levels to the final boss. There's like, this is like a big homeworld which shows off like different player skill. There's a thing you can do here where you try to skip directly into the final boss without gathering anything. And then you can kind of skip like one level and all that, but yeah, it depends. We actually do have to get a dragon here. It's for the second head to open, the yellow one. You have to free that dragon, so we have no choice. You could get in without it, but it's
Yeah. So North Cove is cool. In this last homeworld, we do actually need to exit through the exit portals, and we don't need any collectibles, so we can just do this. That's good. Yeah.
I was too far forward.
Yeah. You can't. You need sparks. Yeah.
Where's a rat?
So you saw what he did there. He bounced off that TNT as it was being raised.
I don't know how to do this fast.
Which allowed him to skip the entire level, basically. He tried to glide straight to the exit portal, but that bit of scenery that he was stood on is really finicky. There are certain spots or if you jump off them, you can't glide for
They
whatever
just won't
reason.
give you a glide input, so you kind of got to go around it, but it's like really finicky.
Yeah, yeah. That was still probably faster than doing the level normally.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. And there's lots of fodder around this area, so it's not, you know.
There is a strat where you skip this level completely. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do it to get like record tier times in this category, but a lot of people who like aren't going for the record just don't bother. It saves like 40 seconds and is extremely inconsistent. So
yeah, this level's like hell for a lot of people casually, because the guys have the guns, shoot from long range, but they're kind of consistent, so we know where to position ourselves so we won't get hit.
yeah, you can get through this level pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So.
There's also another level in 120%, which is another category of this game, which shows off flame charging really well, because those big guys with the guns, you can flame charge them all, and there's tons of them.
This level's really fun in 120%,
Yeah.
actually, because you have a bunch of like double spring chests and flame charges.
It's
and all
very
sorts
full
of
on,
tech.
and it's right at the end, so...
Yeah.
So now we're heading to the final boss. Already here. There's 2 guys with keys we need to get at the start here. I'm going to try to get them both much earlier than intended, kind of by manipulating where they think we are. There's that guy, and then there's one here, which you... Yeah, nice. So normally you have to chase them through tunnels, but yeah, as you saw, you kind of just get them to sit there and jump on them. This is the final boss here. There's kind of 2 phases. There's this first one where we chase him, and the second where we jump over some platforms. It's kind of anticlimactic. There's no real like fight to it. It's just make sure you can platform and then you're good.
Yeah, in 120% again, it's cool because you can like get all of these gems on this track while still making it in time to flame them. But
see, if you don't get here soon enough, he kind of just runs away because he's like, oh, you didn't get here fast enough. Try again. And yeah, these platforms here are kind of on a timer, so you have to go somewhat quickly if you're doing casually.
If you go slow, if you go too slow here, the platforms go into the wall, then you end up getting screwed over.
And then time.
46.
Yeah.
With the delay, that's a 45. So.
It's not bad.
Sorry, I took
And that's Spyro 1.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah.
What about
Follow Ikkatosh23 on Twitch.
We've got Spyro 2 up next, so if you like that, stay around for some more Spyro.
Now there's
Yep.
order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly.
I mean, feel free to check out speedrun.com/Spyro for more, like, for the leaderboards for this game and all the other Spyro games. There's a lot of runners. We have a really big community these days. So
and it's super open too, so if you're interested, there's tons of people which will be happy to...
You can usually find someone on Twitch streaming Spyro. But yeah, we've got another run coming up.
Yep.
I'll be doing Spyro too.
Yep, thanks to Ikkatosh23 for the Spyro the Dragon run. Stay with us because we got another Spyro 2, with Zachary. So yeah, we'll just bear with us while we change games.
Yeah. 4:30, I think. Yeah. Was it? Oh, yeah. No, 4 to 5:30. Yeah. Right. No, that's fine if you want to.
Yeah, shoutouts to Matt13. Seems good.